سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Yalla, infidels. That's right. We're right back on track with big money, big nuts, and a big fat chronic sack. And it's Americant top team putting the Omnicron clinch on all of your freedoms. You will show us your papers or you will be destroyed, infidels. It's John Hartnett, Hacker Hamin, Hamin Media Group, channelattitude.com. Yalla. Yes, you are soon to expire, infidels, and I'm here to collect because I put insurance on all of you. That's right. I'm going to profit off of your misery like always, but we're here with the true prophet of MMA himself, the insider, filling in for Big Stevie Cool. It's my man, John Hartnett. How are you doing this morning, buddy?
Hey, man, if Congress can profit off our misery, why can't you?
Yeah. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I follow the Nancy Pelosi investment advice. I see what she's going for, lithium, and with a much smaller investment, I follow that lead.
Greatest stock trader of all time, Nancy Pelosi.
Greatest country trader of
Who's
all time.
Warren Buffett? Yeah, who's Warren Buffett? I just want to know what Nancy Pelosi.
Right. You'd think she'd get her tits fixed with all that extra money, but you know.
Yeah, those nasty little flapjacks.
Oh,
things are gross,
man. But good to see you, Johnny. We haven't, we always stay connected on Messenger, but always good to see the baby face and the dogs of war over there having a good morning, dude. Yeah, we were talking off camera there about the new MMA thing that's going down. Triller, right? Yeah, Ryan Kavanaugh's Triad Combat. It was pretty interesting, man, and I think those boxers were not ready for smaller gloves and the skill set of some of the MMA guys, how they get inside using their head, body up, and then pepper you up. They're used to staying at range with the jabs, but the MMA guys weren't used to like, hey, he turned the corner on me and I never saw that punch coming. Like there was great mix up of styles, man.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown of it too, because the clear advantage was dirty boxing and close for the MMA guys, where they could work a clinch, utilize it, pull on the head, pull on the neck, use it for uppercuts, come over the top, put him in a position that's not a normal position in boxing. It's very awkward, but it's a very normal position for an MMA fighter. But then, like you said, cutting those angles in a triangle, it's a totally different art. And when you cut that angle and you put somebody into a corner the way that a boxer can, man, like in that small of a confined space, it forces the action. And man, I was thoroughly entertained by the whole thing. Like I was telling you, I thought the whole thing was very pro wrestling, and like I was very much intrigued by the whole show. Can't wait to see the next one, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes with the future promotion and who else they can cross over with. Because the way they were doing it, like, man, everything was crossing over. Even from the Briggs and Rampage thing, those were the right two guys to put in that position to be the coaches. And it took a little bit from, if people are familiar with the IFL, the International Fight League, they had like a team concept where they were trying to push years ago, about 10 years ago, but it didn't really work out. But there was a team and point concept that they were trying to push and get people intrigued into an actual full night event where it was one team versus another and a full season. But that was the closest thing I've seen to that actual IFL format put into a pay-per-view model, and it looked like it should do well. I would understand if they stuck around for a little longer and actually gave something in. If I was Bellator, I would be doing everything they just did.
Yeah, I agree. The biggest note to me, and it's got the pro wrestling flavor, I thought they did it better than pro wrestling, a variety show wise, because here's a band and music, something fast, boom, wow, it's them. Then we cut to the dude with the girls, boom. Then we go to Nick Cannon, he's hilarious with Fat Joe and Eric B and those guys. So we got the Good Brothers table. Then we do the work with Rampage and Let's Go Champ Shannon Briggs, and we know that's the work. But then the fighters are real. Then the fight is real. Then we go back to the Carney, and then we go back to the hot chicks. And like the way they shifted gears really kept the flow of that show going in between fights and made you like, oh, what's next and what's happening in this, where Shannon Briggs and Rampage are working, but at the same time, as soon as you feel it's even a little bit phony, the real fight happens, and then they can talk shit again. So I thought Ryan Kavanaugh and the team did an excellent job, man, all the way around on that. And the fighters, what is it? Styles make fights, right? And it was interesting to see boxers. They didn't really use the new rules like Superman punch, clinch, uppercut. What was the other one? Hammer fist and spinning back fist. I think only Matt Mitrione hit the spinning back fist, but as this evolves past one thing, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see the sweet science versus the muscle and inside wrestling ability continue. As they didn't have scrubs on this fight. Everybody on here was a good one. The girls, even though that MMA girl hit her with like a 18-piece combo, the boxing chick didn't stand a chance in that one. That was about the only fight that was like, I would say the main event too was a landslide.
Frank didn't have a chance.
He was out.
Hey, you know what though? Like from a promoter standpoint, you could not pay to get a finish like that on television. You know what I'm saying? Like that finish, that's going down epic, gif of a lifetime. And I mean, from a marketing promoting standpoint, you can't put a price tag on that. That's something that's going to circulate, go viral, have everybody talking, and then think it already did. And people are going to want to see it again next time it's out. Like, dude, you see what happened to Frank Mir last time? He was on skates, and Dan Miragliotta was letting him die.
Hi,
Dan Miragliotta.
Yeah, I don't think Dan.
Sorry, I was so mean to you in between round 3 and 4 a couple of weeks ago. But you're a good dude. I'm sorry.
you were hot about it. How about that?
Oh, I was hot, dude. Usman was grabbing the cage, and I had to run over there, and I was like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, look, next time it's a point. I'm like, next time he's already done it 3. You do it.
There will be no next time.
Next time.
I watched that one fight too on where the ref should have stopped it. I can't remember. That guy took a bunch of heat. He's got some like kind of Romanian name, like the
UFC one.
Yeah, they just let the dude stay in there and get fucking so much head trauma, bro. Like that was scary to watch.
He refereed one of my friend's fights back in I think he fought Czechia, somewhere like that. It was messed up. So like that guy Kadyrov runs these fights out there, and it's like third world dictator like show, and like that's not the first time that guy's done that. You can go out and find a couple good clips of him just basically serving people up there just to.
Jeez. Just an old prison guard referee, let him fight to the death, Lionheart style, right?
Dude, they give you the paperwork beforehand that says, possibly you could die in there. And, like, you don't really think about it until that guy's a referee. Then it's like, I guess maybe, yeah.
Yeah. When you have your opponent's mercy and not the referees, it's a dangerous situation, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, that guy's there. Usually you're worried about them stopping it early, but that guy.
But I will say, dude, UFC in the last probably month has had great pay-per-views with, undercards, even with a lot of first round, second round stoppages and whatnot. Like people aren't in there just trying to, go the distance unless it's for a title and it's part of your strategy. There's a lot of people in there ready to end careers and putting up, undefeated streaks on the line versus each other. I've been enjoying MMA fight game, and especially with this new Carney thing here, man. Things are evolving, devolving, and being more fun at the same time. So I'm really enjoying it, dude.
Yeah, it's a good time for the sport. It's taken off, and it's kind of wild to see over 20-year span where it's gone and where it was and where it's going.
We'll see if the Omnicron takes us back to the Thunderdome, pal. That's where we're going.
I miss that place.
Oh man, I miss Big Stevie Cool this morning, y'all, dude. But obviously Johnny Blaze can handle all that, dude. I've been boxing a lot, just nonstop. Wow, I'm sure. Look at dude, that pops me because last night, I don't know if you watched AEW last night, but like after the match, that like the booking was so bad last night. The first 5 matches, exactly who's going over before the bell even rings, and they had back-to-back Daniel Bryan and Punk versus Lee Moriarty, who I'm sure is a good dude, but I can't remember who fucking Bryan worked in the opener already. That's how miscellaneous it was. Or it might have been Lee Moriarty there, and then the guy that Punk worked. Either way, nice guys, I'm sure, but why are you booking them against the lowest undercard guys? But then after the match,
on television,
Daniel Bryan and fucking Punk both go over to the camera and fucking go like this. I go, where's your arms, bro? Like they're trying to show that they're super jacked. Like the smallest guys in John's arms are bigger than both of the top guys in fucking dude. Like they need to come do biceps with you, bro, because like they're big,
brother.
big.
Those Stevie bands.
It just popped me, dude. These little comic book nerds that fucking want to act like they're larger than life when reality is they couldn't beat half of my high school in an arm wrestling competition.
No, yeah. I mean, you've seen what CM Punk can do. CM Phil. I mean, he was
yeah, MJF ate his lunch, man, on the mic. I thought they were bad.
I heard he brought it up, huh? He brought up the elephant in the room.
Yeah, there was a couple other stingers he really could have gone hard on too, but he got it. He got at him, for sure. And it's just exposing of, wrestling is supposed to be fun. You can be a comic book nerd if you're good at this shit, but don't act like you're a tough guy when you get served up and exposed, because there's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? So PG Punk, 2 Pump Chump Punk, or whatever he called him last night. One punk. But yeah, man, funny shit. AEW rough show last night, because last week they started off with MJF and Punk, and it was so red hot, dude. It was very, very good. Or no, would they start off with Daniel Bryan and then went into that? But they're burning their top talents with indie guys that wouldn't even be main eventers on the indie. Yeah, there's the fuds. So it's just bad booking and misuse of your top paid talent for what? Like, what is Lee Moriarty versus Daniel Bryan going to go down in the annals of time? You know what I mean? No, it was versus Punk, and he was on top. Punk was down in an armbar for this guy who nobody even knows at all, and like your top star is now being beaten by Barry Horowitz for 70% of the match, dude. It's just like, come on, bro.
Could you imagine like Psycho Sid coming out for one of those, TBS 605 matches and just like, yeah, grab my arm, brother.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Super Callow takes it to Sid for 70% of the match.
I don't think so.
It was bad.
The formula is pretty basic. I just don't understand why everything has to be everything's got to be 10 minutes. Everything's got to be 20. Got to showcase everybody. Everybody's got to be tough. Everybody's got to be good. Everybody's got to know their role on the card. Everybody's got to know their role on the show. Everybody's got to know what their role in business for the show is and do business. Like, it's not, there's no, dude, everybody isn't going to get over as the hero of the movie. You know what I mean? If everybody was the hero of the movie, then like, what are we doing? Why am I watching this thing? There's only one hero, right? Or, maybe two, and then you're building this story, and then you're going to get to, the climax and the blow off of whatever the business is. And there's your story. You've told the story. Like everything they're trying to do now is just that everybody's equal. Everybody can. It's like, man, hey, dude, when the Jaguars, Tony Khan knows this better than anybody. When the Jaguars play on Sunday, like they don't get to take the Chiefs to a neck and neck game, on Monday Night Football. Like they're losing by 30. It's not even going to be close. And it's like. That's their role in the NFL.
Or if it's your guys like the Giants versus the Eagles, that match can be fine. But take Lee Moriarty and the other cat that faced Daniel Bryan and put them in your undercard, not versus your top properties to pull 10 minutes, because these guys are ex-world champs versus indie guys, bro.
And no disrespect, like I don't even know who Lee Moriarty is. Like I don't even know who he is. I could trip over him in the street. Like, dude, all right, I'm nobody. I'm just an enhancement guy, but like I'm not going to wrestle Daniel Bryan on TV next week. And look, when they put me in a match, when I was supposed to wrestle 205 Live, I won't say who I was supposed to wrestle, but dude, they were coming to me asking me what I wanted to do. I said, I'm here for you. I'm not here for me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, you get you signed too. I'm like, look, man, like I'm not here to get signed. I'm here to do my job, which is to make you look like $1 million. So like what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do your stuff and make you look like $1 million. Like,
isn't it crazy that guys who are signed still don't understand that, bro?
Like television guy. Yeah. Television guy. And I'm like explaining this to him, like, look, man, like what I do is not important. And like, you should smoke me. Like, because if you're going 10 minutes with me, like, what are you doing if you got to go in there against somebody like CM Punk or Daniel Bryan? Like, what? How are we on the same level? We're not. We're not on the same level.
And that's what even seeing that on the card, who's going over before anything even happens. So why would you stick around to see it? And for you, your spot is taking a power bomb and coming back next week with a neck brace on. That's your
spot. Establishing it's real, right?
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. And it's so weird when you see it too from people that are in the business where everybody 10 minutes. Hey man, don't you think the fans are picking up on that too? Like, this match is about to start. Damn, I got 10 minutes of CM Punk and Lee Moriarty. Is this what I want to watch on television? They shouldn't know if it's going to be 10 minutes or 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise I'm going to just change my channel. I'll come back for the finish. What am I doing?
And it makes your top tier guys you're paying big money for look way less than,
Oh, yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
When I was a kid, dude, I love them now and I have an appreciation for the Barry Horowitzes and the Iron Mike Sharps of the world. But
sure,
dude, when I was a kid, they never won, besides that one little push they gave Horowitz. Mm-hmm. Dude, 2 minutes. 2 minutes on WWF Superstar. See you later.
Well, that's the gimmick, is lose. So we know it, but then when you do it once, it means something going forward out of there. And like we said, we're not trying to hate on these guys who are undercard guys, but that's just misbooking of your top guy talent. And then top guy talent letting these undercard guys stay strong on them. They should be getting outclassed and outworked in a second to show that these guys are at another level, So the mistakes, and nobody's standing up over there to do something about it either. So it's just as ridiculous as it is everywhere. One story I didn't have up, but I saw in the sheets yesterday is that Big Swole put out a statement saying that they've come to the decision that they're not going to recontract. That type of verbiage makes me not laugh or chuckle, but they had to sit down and Big Swole was like, I think I'm not going to renew. I'm going to try all my options. Oh, really? What options are those? As WWE is releasing everybody, Ring of Honor's done, she's trying to put a spin on it. But then I even see Sonny Kiss retweet that with oh no, and all the, best thoughts and all that. I go, well, you better get ready because you're going to be in the same exact boat here, because you're not there. There's no way with 100 releases between WWE and ROH and Khan wringing his hands of who he wants to play with next and bringing in those top 10, that talents like a Sonny Kiss or a Swole, and you can name 40 more, you're going to see this all the way through March and April. They're all going to be gone, bro. All the original indie kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's just business. I mean, you can't expect Tony Khan to keep all these people. It's not a charity. This isn't,
right.
Make-A-Wish. This isn't, one of those UNICEF freaking gimmicks where you can just throw the orange box up and everybody gets paid. It's a business. And at the end of the day, like you said, if WWE is going to put all these top names and commodities out there, these were the people that were signed in the beginning because these were the people that were available. And now as time progresses, you got to do what's best for business. And what's best for business, if you got these people that are already established with TV time and there's somebody that you like, you got to bring them in. But then where's that money coming from? It's got to come from somewhere. And
one Braun Strowman is 10 of your buddy favor indie guys.
That's half AEW Dark, right? You're getting all these other guys in there for $200, and it's like, okay,
if you pay them, if you pay them that. shout out to Dylan Boss.
But I mean, hey, it's one of those things where it's like you and I knew it was coming. She had to know it was coming. These other people in the locker room got to know it's coming, and they're playing the game, I'm sure, of trying to wait out the execution as long as possible. But dude, at the end of the day, if you know it's coming, you might as well get ahead of it and try to get ahead of it and create your own narrative, create your own story, create your own buzz to get out there and push yourself, and then maybe put yourself in a position where you can come back or you can go somewhere else and make some money. Because just sitting around just waiting for the last paycheck to come and then trying to figure it out, you're putting yourself behind an 8 ball.
I think I'll pitch this again. I mean, I thought it was one of my most brilliant. I thought if there was an opportunity to do it with Fandango and Tyler Breeze, after they went to NXT again and did the gimmicks and the round of firings is happening for the next 90 days. If you knew those guys knew they were getting released, everything, you should have vignettes where people are calling them and they keep fabing calls. They dive under the ring, everything they do to avoid a 203 number to keep their job for the next X amount of time, right? Like they know it's coming. Like to me, why say put blinders on and not go into it? We all know what's coming. If you know you're on the chopping block, I would pitch that business, be like, look, I know I probably am on my way out in the next round here. Let's do something that ribs that a little bit so the boys and everybody at home can have a little bit of levity instead of like, you know, what the tension really is. Just play into the real. I saw that they actually pulled the comments Liv Morgan made about the firings in her terrible NXT level promo from Raw. When they put it on YouTube, they clipped that line, bro, because butthurt future endeavored talent were like, that is just classless. I'm like, dude, you guys are so in the fucking bubble that if you can't take that, what, like, just don't even be in this business, bro.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, I get it. You know, the egos are fragile, you know, and people are very fragile when it comes to things like that and attacking their personal ego. But dude, at the end of the day, it's a business, you know, and like whatever you can do to better your business, even if it's like, I'm not saying put somebody down, but dude, it's right in front of you. You can't ignore that. You know what I mean? Right. It's there. And then like, when you just ignore something like that, now you're playing down your, like you said, you got to play to the height of your audience's intelligence. Now you're saying they're dumb because they don't like, we're going to ignore everything you guys know is going on.
We're just right. Continuity of these characters, and they're just disappeared like the rapture happened. And I think that's another great one. Well, you get a character that's supposed to be the fool, like a R-Truth or what have you. I mean, you can put this anyway, and he doesn't realize people are being fired. They're just coming up missing. Like he could have the whole FBI board of missing
the conspiracy.
Yeah, dude, the whole thing, man. Like, and poke a little fun at it. You don't got to be an asshole, but like, you know, tongue in cheek in a creative way, you could do something that the crowd be like, oh, I get it, that's funny, you know. Instead of just being like, nope, they're gone, and we don't reference them, and there's heat if you do, and like, come on, man, live in the reality.
Could you see R-Truth all disheveled in the Stanford mailroom with like a giant like caulkboard where he's got all the pictures and the red lines and this one and this one and this one, and then he's doing the Charlie Day from, you know, from Always Sunny where
and you think, and then you and it that it's not him. You pull back and Sami Zayn's in on it with the conspiracy stuff. You know what I mean? And you could have all kinds of little.
You could do some layers, yeah, and then you go all the way back to just some kind of like almost Squid Game VIP thing with somebody under a mask and it's Vince. You know, like,
all that shit, bro. You could even bring back one star for one night that he thought was gone, and he's like, "You're alive," to give the hope spot. So
yeah, you bring the Boogeyman back, or you pop him out of somewhere, and bro, like, forget it. The possibilities are infinite. It's just like, what do they? I don't understand what happens in these rooms where like they can't come up with better ideas than what we're seeing on television. Like nothing at all.
And you
like,
just get shot
I know
down.
some of those people in that room, and they are bright people. Like, there's not a like I can't. It's the excuses are just like, man. I guess you got to aim up, but it's. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I didn't even watch Survivor Series, but I heard it was an absolute just disaster.
I can't even explain to you how bad it was with the Cleopatra's golden egg, bro. But before we do AEW Light the Fuse this afternoon with Chris Silvio, hopefully be back about 1:30. We'll get into some AEW news real quick here. In the sheets, John, AEW World Champion Hangman Page is set to join the commentary team tonight. But it looks like he will also be staying on commentary going forward while JR is out with his skin cancer treatments. We wish him the best. But it looks like he'll be staying at the table. I think this is a mistake. This is one thing that AEW, and they did it last night 4 times. So Page comes out, does commentary, leaves. Adam Cole comes out, does it. Taz comes out, does it. Like, there's no flow. You're interrupting the flow of the show when you do that, you know, and you're overexposing your champion too. Again, for what purpose, you know? It's just not.
You gotta make something like that special so there's meaning to it when you do it. If you're doing it for just everybody, then it's just a thing, you know, and it's now there's no meaning behind it, and yet not everybody can carry a match either on commentary either. Like there's a real skill to that, and there's a real art to it, and man, I feel bad for the regulars that are there. They're getting these guys tossed in each match, and that's got to be like, I mean, man, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, you just made the guy last week, and now we're kind of overexposing him just because he's going to be in the storyline. One thing last night that popped me too, I'll talk with Sylvia about this, but not pops me, but here's how they're also missing, where Adam Cole's supposed to be a heel, comes out, makes his entrance, walks down the ramp, gets in the ring just so he can do the boom stupid thing so all the marks can do whatever. Then, without saying a word, gets out of the ring, walks up the ramp, walks over to the commentary booth and sits down. Walk to the ring to do boom. He's supposed to be a heel, but we got to get my shit over with everybody.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy comes out, fucking stops at the top of the ramp. Then he gets up. They face off, which further shows that we're two guys who probably shouldn't be in the wrestling ring. Oh, Adam Cole also gave one of those to show that with the sleeves cut off, to show that he's got some 8th grade arms. Made me laugh.
He's an 8th grade freaking social studies teacher, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah. And then Bucks come out. Orange does a little kick thing on the shins, and Cole low blows him from behind to get his heat back after he got all the babyface pop when he come out. Like, these guys have no idea what being a heel really is, bro. And I see in the forums on Facebook, and they're like, there is no heels and that's 1999 wrestling. I go, and you wonder why when he opened the show last week, they were at 400,000. You just see numbers going down, but you guys keep on that Mark ass argument.
Yeah, tell me that there's no heels in pro wrestling right now, but then turn on your Twitter. Turn on your television. There's heels and faces in everything you do in life. And if you're going to take away from pro wrestling, you're taking away from the whole storytelling aspect of it. And it's just, it's hurting the product. I mean, you can't tell me heels and faces don't work when, I mean, I just watched it work in Madison Square Garden, took 30,000 people. And, half of them cheering, fuck you, Colby. The other chanting, let's go, Colby. And it's 4th highest gate in the history of Madison Square Garden in the building, like beating WrestleManias. I mean, what do I know, right? Like, heels and faces, they don't work. Like, are you serious? People want to be offended right now more than ever. It's just that people are too afraid to offend people, and they don't want to. They want everybody to like them. Sorry, 100%. Not everybody's going to like you. You know what I mean? And if you're going to do business, bro, you better look out for yourself. And that means pissing some people off. Good. Because if you piss some people off, you did something right. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to talk about you. And when they're talking about you, just back up the Brinks truck. Don't matter if it's good or bad. The algorithms, that's the thing. Dude, people are like, oh, I need thumbs up. Give me the likes. Dude, the thumbs down work just as good on the algorithm as the thumbs up. And you people don't know that. Engagement's engagement. The computer don't know. It's ones and zeros. They don't know if it's good or bad. So if you're getting on there, it's easier. Like, I describe it as, most people right now live a miserable life, right? And when I grew up, the positivity was a lot higher, and with role models, things like that, things where they were telling stories with, the baby face getting over. Now, people want to rip people down for being on top. You know what I mean? They don't want to see somebody doing better than them. So when they see somebody up there, it's easier for them to type something negative than it's for them to type something positive. They won't even type if it's positive. If it's negative, they're going to, I call it a rage boner, So they get on there with this rage boner, and the only release for them is to type the fingers, boom, 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 boom. Oh, I hate this person, this, and this. Good. It's the business we're in, like, make them feel
when they're not talking about you. That's when you're out of the spotlight, and we can put it over 1,000 times how brilliant we are or how brilliant you are. But Colby Covington, who you're his top advisor, and when he decided to do character and bring that into UFC, then we're happy to be able to help with. That's what took him from a lower mid card, possibly on his way out and getting released, to being the top draw at MSG last month. So it absolutely can cross over that. I did see, I can't remember the guy's name, and it might have been on the same pay-per-view at MSG, where he did the exact opposite of that and said to the kids, work hard, follow your dreams, say your prayers, like very, what the foundation of martial arts and respect should be, where we got karate's bad boy Mike Barnes over here, and fucking, this guy now doesn't matter. I mean, they might not have been in the same weight class. I'm not sure. I think they might be close, but you've got the yin and the yang. You've got the bad boy you love to hate, and you've got the good, wholesome baby face who's trying to spread the love of, martial arts in a certain way. Both have their own truths, but that makes for a great fight. So as far as Colby went heel just for, the reasons of entertainment, this guy's doing the other thing and just playing the lights. I think it's super smart because now that we have a heel, we can establish babies in the same type of way. If you're just in the middle and lukewarm about yourself, all you got is your knockouts or your submission. And even now in UFC, that's not going to take you to the top anymore.
No, I mean, I know guys that, man, they're video games in real life when it comes to getting in there, but they're so dry with their personality. And then the other thing is they are afraid to make people mad. They do not want people mad at them. They just want to be happy. They want to live their life. They just want to be, but you know what? You're not going to get rich. You're not in this business. If that's what you want, that's fine.
Right?
Yeah. And you know what? Dude, if Colby didn't do what he did, he'd probably be a high school wrestling coach right now. There's no and the guy's making 7 figures. You can't tell me it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because it's worked as long as there's been storytelling, good guy, bad guy. You go back to the Bible. That's what I mean. It's a story as old as time. This is how it's done. And man, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's just some of these people just got to get outside their comfort zone and realize what they're doing, man. Hey, dude, not everybody has to like you, man. Get over it.
He set himself up to be a personality in MMA after his career is done too, in possibly even a run in politics. And
you can do politics, without a question. And people people can look at it and they can judge them all they want, but you know what they're doing? They're giving them attention. And it's nobody. The biggest thing is ratings. Everybody wants people drawn in. They want people here. They need eyeballs. They need asses in seats. How are you going to do it? You got to draw somebody. You got to bring somebody in. And the people that are always there, they're always showing up. It don't matter what you're doing. You got to do something different to bring people in. The water cooler talk, the people that aren't going to watch every pay-per-view, the people that were fans and maybe they're not anymore, the lapsed fans, you got to bring them in. And if you're not bringing those people in, man, these other people are going to show up no matter what. No matter what. Good show, they're there. Bad show, they're there. It doesn't matter. It's these other people you have to reach. And you have to reach them with basic storytelling. It's not you're not going to be able to write some big thesis and break it down for them. Here, this is why you need to watch the show. That's why to evoke emotion.
Yeah. And that's why a cold match between Lee Moriarty and CM Punk ain't going to do shit for a rating, bro.
Nothing.
Here's one too. This pops me in with the same conversation. Ricochet comments on a potential heel turn in WWE. Let's see if this is one of those super long ones. I guess it probably is. Ricochet talked about moving to Friday on SmackDown and named the people he'd like to face on the blue brand. All these lists. He says, definitely I've got some people that put some respect on Ricochet's name for real. I've been doing this for a long time, and being in PWG, being the bad guy was my bread and butter. That's where I got my popularity. And if I need to be the bad guy, people know I can be the bad guy. Right now, I don't think I need to be. Right now, I think I can still go out there and tell somebody to shut up, smack them in the face, and have the universe behind me. So go out and tell people to shut up and smack them in the face. That's a very heel thing to do while you're being a baby. He said Stone Cold did it for years. If I need to be the bad guy, we all know I can be the bad guy for sure. First of all, this guy's an amazing athlete before I bury him.
Tremendous.
Does things I will never do or be able to. But he is a lukewarm heel at best with very little charisma, who's never gotten a chance in a storyline to get over on the mic or is able to connect with the audience. Moves mean very little. And if you are a lukewarm babyface, that is, or middle of the road, that's where you're going to be on the heel side too. If this is the line and I'm way over here as Ben Hamin as a heel, if I was a turn baby, I'd be that over as a baby. He's right here on one side. He's only going to go this far on the other side, bro. So I'm not trying to say that he hasn't had a hell of a career and taken all the bumps, but nobody references Ricochet's. Remember when Ricochet was a super heel in PWG? You mean the guy with abs who does flips? Guess what? You're not a heel. If you're a high-flying athletic worker who has to get all their shit in and oohs and ahs to impress the crowd, That is the opposite of being a heel. A heel takes it away. A heel does not outshine the baby face with more athleticism. A heel looks possibly dumpy so the crowd doesn't live vicariously through them from having fucking 12-pack abs. You're not Mr. Sex Appeal, all that kind. And if you are, you're throwing it in their face that they're fat and dumpy, but they're not. So here's another guy inside the business who I believe doesn't have any idea what it means to really be a heel, bro. They just say that, and it really holds no water with me. What action did you do? What kidnapping? What lighting somebody on fire? What hitting him with a chain, stabbing him, getting color? Are you referencing that you would ever be a heel?
Yeah, I mean, to go back to it again, it's just like I can't put all the blame on Ricochet either for that, because a lot of it's going to come from creative, and you're not going to be able to get your own ideas over or your own storylines over. You're going to have to do what you're told, kind of thing. But dude, like, I feel like he's almost letting Tony Khan know, hey, remember when I was in PWG and I used to be a heel?
That's a good point.
He's letting him know. But like, dude, look at WWE right now. If you have a gimmick or some kind of personality that's evoking too much of a reaction, they're going to shut it down. Like, look at those NXT ones they shut down. Look at the things they got out there where, like, don't talk about politics, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Why? People are going to talk about it. Like, this is normal life. And it's like, once again, to go back to Colby, like, bro, he had people in Brazil throwing $9, $10 hot dogs and beers at him. You know what I mean? Like, that. Right. When have you seen that in a wrestling match? Since Hogan turned on Savage and pulled the NWO gimmick, you don't see that anymore. He needed a machine gun escort to the airport. Everywhere we go, they have to put armed security guards with us. Like, that's a heel. Like, Ricochet is going back to his hotel room. He's got people waiting at his elevator. They're going to give him a high five. They're going to take a picture with him. Right. Any of these other guys, like, dude, you only want to be a bad guy for when the TV's on, and then you want these people to love you and adore you and just praise you when it's on.
He just doesn't know that
they should loathe you. You should have extra security. You should be getting death threats. You should see some of these things that people write to Colby, dude. It's insane.
If Ricochet was going to turn heel, the way he does it in ring is to, like, go up like he's going to fucking do the big flips, and when he's on the top rope, fucks everybody off, jumps down, and fucking goes back and punch. And
I do that. I do that. Go up to the top, yeah. Off, jump right down, bang, bang, bang.
Jesse McKay wants to know, Ben, the question is, are you a tough guy? I don't see you doing MMA. Well, those MMA fighters starting out at 44 years old. I've been training boxing on my own, so not any crazy gym and sparring, with the help of John Hartnett's egg weights that he sent to me, and precision striking. And I want to get back to Canada to beat the shit out of Chris LaPlante in an exhibition boxing match. I'd love to knock him out. And just high school wrestler and that along, and plenty of Central New York toxic street fights. But no, I'd like, in my time to get into MMA, would have just been getting owned and by people who had 10 years experience on me. If we're throwing down in any bar fight, I'm glad to do it. I'd like to get in there and spar. I mean, I came up with Jake Hager and whatnot. He's a little bit taller, not much to me, but guys like that, I've chain wrestled with him, and yeah, he's got crazy amateur skills, but once I dropped 260 on his forehead with a forearm, things change, man. Believe me, I got nice enough hands and adequate enough kicks and enough body weight and mass to handle myself, and I'm not afraid to throw leather. But as far as me getting with a team at 44 years old, unless we want to do some Mike Tyson Triller shit and they want to fight the fucking terrorist and you got an all-American boy, let's fucking book it, bro. I'm not afraid to get in there and take a punch, man. I have no fear of that whatsoever, getting choked out or what have you. But I definitely would be down to truck somebody myself to do it. And maybe that's just the testosterone of man being in there and fooling myself. But I'd like to say, maybe I'll tape a little bit, John. You can tell me if I really suck or not when I'm throwing hands.
Get one of these Sheik guys. Let's grab the triangle, hit up Ryan Kavanaugh. You know what I mean?
Easy enough. But who's going to be in my weight class that'll fucking take that fight, Like,
there aren't many real men in this business. Right now.
I grew up in the world championship lumberjack circuit with my dad, dude. So that's the cloth I'm cut from, is beer drinking, chew spit, fucking rednecks who chop down trees for a living. If you think that doesn't make a fucking man, and I'm just talking shit, well, that's your opinion. And if not, if you want to get in the ring, then by all means, come on out to an Immortal
about it.
Yeah, come to Immortal show an hour early, and I'll gladly fucking get in, and we'll see who can tune. Maybe you'll whip my ass. Maybe you won't.
More than likely not.
You Jimbo, you're 6'4", Ben. Yeah, in my boots, 6'3", 6'4", whatever. Doesn't
6'3".
Really
Real short.
Small guy shit. Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon, you might have heard of her, said WWE's
you got me all excited when you said Chief Branding Officer. I thought there was only one of those.
Is the other one.
Whoa, baby.
Whoa, baby. They signed Stevenson to a multi-year deal back in September. I'm surprised they haven't started with this guy yet, because this is their next big money guy. And this is who I see when Colby comes to WWE that his feud will be against. I can see this 2-3 years from now, Colby Covington versus Olympic gold medalist Stevenson. I think that will be an awesome work shoot. And at that time, you'll have Riddle on top as well. We could have a lot of MMA, UFC crossover top guys, but she's talking, and we got Chad Gable in there too, a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
What is she? Shayna as well.
Yeah,
she's a top guy. Yeah. There's no official update on Ronda Rousey's return, but she's always welcome to come back. McMahon said. She joked, as long as she stays away from me. Yeah. Dude, when Stevie and I read the fucking dirt sheet report where she was getting shuttled to and from the hotels in her own car, and she was eating $15 Caesar salads and shit. It shows you how absolutely clueless that people are coming from outside of our industry into what being a carny on the road of this shit really is, as opposed to training for 4 months in a camp, and then going to pay off in one match. That's the biggest difference and shocker that no UFC fighter or MMA person is ready for, is the carniness and the day-to-day of the road. And like, you're not spoiled and getting to go to the hotel for that weekend before you do that. Like, wrestlers don't live like that every day. They should live like pro athletes, but Zelina Vega and Andrew Yang never got the union done. So heat on them.
I mean, man, like, I've experienced both worlds, and I'll tell you firsthand from a UFC perspective and a top fight organization perspective, everything's based on comfort. You want everything as comfortable as possible, and you're there for a week at least in one city. So everything's getting set up for you, and everything's minimal effort, you know what I mean? And just maximum comfort. As to where wrestling, everything is, everything's a whirlwind, man. And you just got to go from one place to the next. You go change, you get in the ring, get out of the ring, get in the car, get to the next city, boom, 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 boom. And it's nonstop. As to where the fighting, like you said, you got 4 months, you're going to put yourself into one city for 10, 15 days. Everything's going to get adjusted around your schedule. You're going to go into the arena at certain times. You don't even have to sit there for the whole show. You just got to go in, get your business done. Like, dude, we don't show up. If you're the main event, you don't show up till the main card starts. So
you guys don't have
get
to
you into the building.
Break down the ring afterwards. You don't got to break down the octagon.
Don't got to break down the octagon. Don't have to go to catering and schmooze. Don't have to, go find the hairdresser and all that stuff. Like, none of that. None of that. Because no AEW Glam Squad.
Breakdown. I've never had to break down an octagon. Are they a bitch to set up?
Sucks, bro. It sucks. So, like, dude, you know how like the bars go in the ring, and you can just put them in. So it's almost similar with the octagon setup. But dude, sometimes with these things, like where they get left, especially down here in Florida, they warp, and like you got to put them in, and then you got to like hammer it into the spot and push it down, and then it's just like, dude, putting a wrestling ring together is much simpler than putting a cage together, dude. Those things suck. And people think they're soft too. Oh my god, dude, you don't want to get slammed on one of those things. There's no springs, there's no give, there's no nothing. It's just like it's the floor. It's nothing special.
Oh man. Well, we'll see when I have my first UFC fight. When you get me booked over there, it'll be good. Me versus a guy who drinks out of a shoe. I'll fight that guy.
Yeah. Pitching in with Chris Barnett.
I'll fight
on him. He's short for heavyweight. It'd be a good matchup.
Yeah, I can range.
I'd send you in there with the Huggy Bear.
I'm down, bro. Like, hey, I'll take the payday at this point just for the shine. In more Stephanie McMahon news, whoa, baby. Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon was honored with the Corporate Leadership Award at the March of Dimes 38th Annual Sports Luncheon on Tuesday. McMahon was joined by her father, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and she took to Twitter today to comment on the award and WWE's partnership with March of Dimes. She also shared photos saying, "Thank you and March of Dimes for the honor of the Corporate Leadership Award and the congratulations to my fellow honorees. WWE is proud to join March of Dimes' fight for health of all moms and babies. This Giving Tuesday, please consider donating at March of Dimes." This is I think the 6th award she's won or paid for since June on this corporate tour of charity is the marketing of women's empowerment is the marketing of the Webby and podcasting awards is the marketing. What is she really doing? I don't see any of the action. I just see the awards being of like, hey, you're the face of the corporate entity. Give her another trophy,
Yeah, give her another trophy in the center page spread on whatever the magazine is of whatever Business Monthly, freaking Executive Weekly, whatever. It's good for her, right? Like she's
is it?
No, but what else can I say? It's a work. There's nothing. Nobody looks at WWE right now and says like, "Oh my God, what a tremendous business! I want my business to run like that." The way they have everything, as far as like, it's the structure of the whole business. Yeah, like it's very structured. But as far as successful, like you guys aren't successful like you were 20 years ago. I don't remember, during the Monday Night Wars, Vince coming out and getting any awards for when the ratings are. Did they give Stevie one for when he had that segment with the Undertaker for how many millions of people watched that?
And everybody comes through. You hand him a trophy.
And then of course, ask that guy what he knows about anything, right?
And Monday Night Raw drew an average of 1.679 million viewers on USA, down. This is down 1.23 from last week's 1.7. The numbers are just now being released due to Nielsen's holiday break there, but the final hour drew 1.594. So 1.3 was the lowest ever in our three weeks ago, and we're hovering around there. But we're giving awards for success. Meanwhile, all the numbers say that you're a failure at what you do, and you guys are your focus is in 1,000 other directions except for the creative product, which I guess is a marketing ploy of, hey, we have this thing of value. We know we're selling it. How do we pimp it out to squeeze every little dime out of it, from Visa to Pizza Hut to whatever it is, to these corporate awards, because these people in corporate marketing have no clue. They just know that WWE is an established brand. They're not watching and seeing how shit it is and how can we partner with it and get more money out of it and use synergy and acceleration. These are the buzzwords that are being passed around in the marketing world right now. So bad numbers, bad show all the way around. As usual, man, just ridiculous shit.
Yeah, I don't think they deserve any rewards besides the Razzies. You know what I mean? Like those are the only awards they should be up for. Could you imagine if like when we were kids and they had those Stridex pad commercials and stuff inside of as the main sponsor, that all of a sudden you had Ric Flair and Macho Man doing Stridex pads on each other. Brother, come here, let me get some straight. How is this?
Gigs, you hit a gig with a Stridex pad. You should gig them and then Stridex them for extra punishment. That would have been a lot better.
Like, dude, where have we gone wrong? It's really idiocracy at the point where it's just like, oh yeah, look at product placement. Like, man,
it was really WrestleMania. Was it 24? Was Hollywood? When they partnered with that was the change, bro. It was, you can almost say it was during my OVW time, 2008, 2009, that things just like really started down this path of destruction, and it's just been a steady decline ever since then, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you do things like that, you're just taking away the seriousness of everything, and it's just like, like I don't like. How am I supposed to believe anything they're doing? You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna run around with pizzas and do pizza spots, throw pizzas into the crowd. Like,
yeah, dude,
come on, bro.
They were whipping pizza slices into the crowd too, man.
And it wasn't like, I get it if it's me out there and it's like, look, bro, I am limited in what I can do in there, and I know I'm limited. I'm gonna just start throwing pizza out there, and these people are gonna go nuts. And like, hey, that's in my thing. You got AJ Styles throwing pizza? Yeah. AJ Styles, the man.
Dude, well, Street Profit was, and dude, they were coming in at 45 miles an hour. These Pizza Hut slices, dude. He was gunning them last night.
Marks deserve it.
Yeah, I would like to see that. But last night on AEW, I was like, wow, because they were in the main event, and Andrade El Cartolo whips Cody with this fucking weight belt, and dude, then he just guns it opposite hard cam in the crowd, like up maybe 17 rows, and he whipped it. Now, pizza slice is one thing. Dude, a weight belt with metal buckles and shit on it, you could easily fucking hurt somebody, and lawsuit gimmick. But like, so but I don't think they were, but here's the difference. Oh, the crowd in the front row wants the show to be something. So they turn around and you can hear it faintly of like, throw it back, throw it, which would have been the same as Cena and RVD in the Hammerstein Ballroom in 2000. Yeah, right. Does the Mark throw it back? Nope. Fucking
doesn't want to get kicked out.
No, not that. I'm a 30-year-old tape trader.
Gonna smell it.
Yeah, dude, he's licking it and shit over there. Fucking instead of taking what could have been the crowd having a real moment in that match, and now we're watching something like, oh, did you see when the crowd and them got into it and that was real and they played it? Dude, so first Andrade,
the Wrigley Field.
Yeah, they're stupid for doing
that.
Not
our guy.
Yeah. So bad, bro. Like that's the difference from 2006, where the crowd knows and is like, we're the man on the bench that's gonna have some influence in this shit. And he gave us the chance to really be a part of this match, and maybe that's what they wanted to do. And then this fucking Mark, who's gonna go sell it on eBay or jack off to it. Well, fuck that spot in that moment. That's not happening. You can hear the crowd heel on him. That's the difference between 2006 and 2021 with these fanboy bitches.
And you can't say those people are gone either, because they were in Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago. Sure. They knew exactly what to do as soon as those trumpets hit. Right. 30,000 people. As soon as the trumpets hit, you saw.
Well,
it was like this. Click.
Yeah, welcome to Dixieland versus the Yankees, bro. Like that's the Southern stupid scumbags who are super marks versus New York dudes who will jump the barricade and beat the shit out of you.
Bro, these people, they want to be part of it. Let them be part of it, man. Give them an emotion, like, I don't know, man. Like, when I go out there, I want people to curse me out. I want people to spit on me. I don't want anybody to go find me on Instagram and tell me how great of a match I had. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where I messed up.
Right. Ric Flair, you might have heard him. He blasts Seth Rollins for being terrified by the attacker on Monday Night Raw. Nature Boy continues to be controversial as he's leaving WWE. He said he doesn't want any WWE highlight reel of his career and shit. He says he's going to leave that to Tony Khan. Strange days, man. But as noted, Rollins described the experience as terrifying and thanks security personnel and WWE officials for breaking up the skirmish. On his latest episode of Woo Nation Uncensored podcast, Flair felt it was the first time where the mark got the better of a pro wrestler in such an incident. He said, in all fairness, I could say a lot of cute things, but I'm not going to. Every time I say something, I have to involve other people and they have to endure the consequences. So I'm just going to say it like this. I've seen that happen. I've never seen it where I recall the mark, the fan, clearly getting the better of the individual. Flair believes Rollins, who plays a heel on TV, shouldn't have admitted he was terrified by the incident. My problem with Seth, if you're a top guy in this business and you know anything about the psychology of what the fans think and feel, which they really do, you never, ever, ever get off the plane in LA and say, I was terrified. Terrified of what? Terrified of being in a plane crash? You were terrified or horrified by a wrestling fan? Come on, man. What I would have done with if I was Seth, which everybody should learn from this, is that even if the referees had him, I would have jumped back on him, even if I never got a shot on him. I know your answer is going to be, well, there's lawsuits and all that. The WWE could cover the lawsuits. Seth never would have got to him. If you're a heel, you never admit defeat. You just don't do it. Do you think I ever beat anybody? No, but in the minds of most people, I didn't lose because I kept lying, even though I thought it was a work, or they thought it was a work. You never admit you got your ass kicked, much less be horrified or terrified, please. 100% right on this.
I mean, that's gospel from the word of the Nate. Like, I can't say it better myself. Like, hey, first off, if you're put in a situation like that and these things were making headlines, right? Like that made headlines, like regular headlines. And how much better would the headlines have been for business if Seth would have fucked him up? And dude,
it's not like he got blindsided. The kid was running right at him and fucking hit him with a 50-yard, run at him. He saw him coming.
Front face lock guillotine that motherfucker. And if you don't know how to do that, get out. Because if you don't know how to do that,
hit the leapfrog on him. Just
drop down. Lucha. I do the lucha pass. I don't even leapfrog, brother. Yeah, just lucha me. You can't. Go on with the business of just the illusion of you being some kind of tough guy when you're coming out and admitting that, like, I was terrified. It was just a good thing those people were there to save me. No, man. No. Take on all comers at all times. That is not how it works. You know what I mean? Like, security's there, but, like, bro, at the end of the day, you got to be ready for any one of those guys to come at you. Anyone. And it's like, if they do, and you're in that position, you're a top guy, bro, there's no such thing as bad press, bro. You're telling me, like Nate said, like, WWE would take care of it. And then,
he went on TMZ.
Now when you're in the next time, you're in the next big main event, Survivor Series, WrestleMania. Hey, it's the guy that beat up the fan. Like, people, mainstream is going to pick that up, and that's like we were talking about before. The people that are already there, those nerds, the hardcores, coming no matter what. That's mainstream news. That's something that's going to bring people in that were gone, and lapsed fans, people that weren't fans, people that just want to see a crazy shit show. Dude, they're going to tune in next time. Like, what are you doing? You're humanizing yourself. You're gonna humanize yourself in a business where, like, we try to be immortal. Like, are you trying to be a normal person, or are you trying to be a celebrity, a superstar? For lack of a better word. Like, sure. Where's the superstar in that? Like, no way, dude. No, I'm sorry. Like, I get it, man. TMZ. I've been in street fights. You don't know who's got a knife. You don't know who's got a gun.
Yeah, you don't know.
That's your job. That's your job. And you better, like, if you're not going to protect your business right there and right then, what the fuck,
Right. John Cone is Jack. John Cone will fucking tune you up, though. That's the thing. But yeah, dude, the fact that he went on TMZ and talks that shit, but then they don't do whatever inside of the ring. They don't even reference it, in these realities where they want to blur the lines.
I would have had it some kind of thing where he was sent by Roman. In that whole thing, or he would bring Goldberg back.
Goldberg, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, the thing is, and this could go into the conspiracy pile of that as well. Who did send him Sami Zayn, and he's got to be a part of it, or even just a look where we know that's a bullshit story, but we just need to see Goldberg and Rollins needs to look at him like. And Goldberg's like, what the fuck? Like, the guy was crazy. I had nothing to do with it. Or if you wanted to. If he's really terrified and he's going to put that out there, I'm going to take that and use it if I'm Kevin Owens. And if I'm Kevin Owens and Big E, I might come out dressed in red sweatpants and a shitty black t-shirt to fucking terrorize this guy's mind. You know?
Do the whole get 30 extras and put them in the exact outfit and send them out to the ring, lumberjack them, right? Like, you can do things like that, and you can play off the reality of it. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be this larger than life badass, and like, hey, you let this guy scare you? Like, dude, I couldn't take down a phone number. You let him take you down.
It's as much of a bitch move as, like, I mean, at least he got in there and trained for it. But Punk saying he's a tough wrestler and then going to UFC and being exposed. This guy got exposed on his own, exposed himself on mainstream media and not even knowing how to work it as a heel. Or if he's playing the, Joaquin Phoenix Joker with manic and depressive, we see manic all the time. here's the opportunity for scared and depressive. And what is that fear where you could shoot things where he sees nothing but red sweatpants and black shirts. So you get a fucking crate of them, shoot a whole scene where everybody's in that. And then you shoot
paranoia.
Heuristic. Yeah. But from somebody else's point of view, nobody's dressed like that. But in his mind, everybody's dressed like that fucking dude. We don't even take the natural gifts and turn them up because like they'll be like, well, that's just encouraging more fans to get themselves over and do shit. Well, have a stun.
What they did is
stun guns.
Yeah, but by letting that guy get away with it is encouraging more fans to do what he just did.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that he didn't leave there in a crimson mask is the exact reason why somebody else is going to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, CM Punk, like we all know what it is, but dude went out on his shield. You know, no matter what you can say about it, dude went out on his shield. Like, even if you're Rollins in that situation and somehow you do get your ass kicked, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do something in that position because if you're not, like I said, dude, what do you think is going to happen next time? Now a fan knows that you're not going to respond. You're not going to act. You're not going to even retaliate. Now what? You know?
And I think
God
that
forbid
also,
you get a guy that's had a jiu-jitsu class or two that comes over that goddamn rail. He's gonna tool you. You know, from everything I saw, from the way he reacted to that, he wouldn't stand a chance in a real fight against anybody.
No, and that's another point of mine of like, here's jacked guys with no killer instinct. That's the difference of that ROH 2010 class that's now over. They might look a certain way, they might talk the talk, but when it comes to walking the walk of being a real man, they rather go plug in their video game shit and read the fucking anime bullshit that just dropped on Wednesday instead of knowing how to fucking throw a 1-2 and a front face lock with a couple knees to defend yourself.
Just a simple sprawl and establishing an underhook, man. Like, I don't like, you didn't even move your hips, bro. You straight up back bumped. He back bumped. And like, that's where I was just like, what? Like, you're not even going to try to resist this guy taking you down? Like, I get it if he was some kind of good wrestler and he was able to, you know, he switched from a single to a double on you. I'm sorry, you know?
Yeah.
life sucks. But dude, the guy just tried to football tackle you and you let him. You didn't put your hips out. You didn't try nothing. You didn't even get an underhook. You didn't try to sprawl. You didn't try to scramble. It was just, you know, like somebody save me. Like, bro, come on. I don't like, it's, you can't do that, man. You can't. And like, you then expect me to believe you on TV that you're going to beat Brock Lesnar. Like, come on. I gotta believe you can beat Brock Lesnar, bro. You ain't.
I carry a flag to the ring, so I'll tune you up 6 ways to Sunday, like I'm trying to hit a fucking grand slam. If I see you coming at me,
bro,
Trank.
I got my SIG in my fanny pack everywhere I go, man. You know, but like, hey, you know, that's why it's there.
Scarlett Bordeaux, you might have heard about her. She's set to launch an OnlyFans. Yeah, did she? Yeah, that's right. Set to launch an OnlyFans account, so maybe you can do it in your underwear next time, and it'll get some extra cash. But yeah, obviously, her and Killer Cross are on the market here. So you know, as insanely hot as she is, probably the hottest chick in wrestling, I guess you could argue. You know, top 3 for sure. And we're back into the land of softcore porn, and I see the pendulum swinging back. I saw the new Kid Rock video that's just a crazy, literally a fuck you to everything. And he says he's the baddest motherfucker about 80 times in the thing. So not necessarily the anthem for 4th of July, but at the same time, maybe it is, because with a little bit more sexuality and a little bit more enough of the bullshit and whatnot, I'd see the pendulum swinging back, but I also see you know, with school shootings and fucking everything else, the downfall of society is at the most rapid rate of all time too. But Scarlett Bordeaux, you guys, I mean, super hot. There were some pictures she put out.
Subscribe to that one. That's I'll hate on most of these girls going and starting OnlyFans. Like that's, I mean, yeah, go subscribe to that one. She's worth it. And you know what, man? Like, dude, like her and Cross, the fact that they're out there right now, like, come on, man. You know, like,
that's just disgusting, bro. Like those two alone being released from WWE tells the entire tale of pettiness, ignorance, yes men, and fucking, you know, them worrying about backstage heat from guys who'll never get over to ruin a $10 million property like that, dude. It's just
the amount of money they just left on the table. I'm like, it makes me sick. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be excited to work with less. You know what I mean? Like that's.
You wonder why Triple H has heart attacks and shit, right?
I get it. I get it. You know, if things like that are happening, I mean, my heart be giving out too.
A lot of love this morning. A lot of love this morning for our girl Rebel Reba in the chat. Dude, she's been working her ass off, and you know, everyone always says when DMD and they're like, Reba's the hottest, and I'm like, dude, well, she's engaged my boy Paradise Jimmy. So nothing, but she is super attractive, man. She was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and she, you know, is a makeup and hair professional, absolutely cosmetologist. She does a lot on backstage with Impact and at AEW when it comes to hair and makeup. That's her bread and butter. But and she took a sidebar thing and made it awesome. And then she started getting, not she was out of shape, she was just a little thick, but dude, now she's back to like, you know, bikini model level. And it seems the HMG really got their eye on my girl Reba. But the thing is, she's a big goofy nerd. That's the best thing about her.
Right. So, and what else? Is she getting over doing flips or character work? Oh wow.
Yeah, character. Yep, one spot. Let's see. Tommaso Ciampa and Kyle O'Reilly contract updates. They're wanting to re-sign. WWE officials are reportedly wanting Kyle O'Reilly to re-sign with the company, and now there's talks of time being added to the contract of NXT champ Tommaso Ciampa. Both were set to expire here in early December. I can see Tommaso, and I'm not trying to shit on O'Reilly, but to me, that was the Buddy Favor Click crew. And I don't see Kyle O'Reilly making it to the main roster and being a top guy unless you do a gimmick with him. Like, he might be the top guy. I was thinking Gargano could do it, but I think they should get the Let's Go Brandon chant over. And I think somebody should come up, and even if it's not their name, somebody calls them Brandon. He's like, that's not my name. Okay, Brandon. And like, then the crowd can organically do Let's Go Brandon on the fire up and use what the fuck we got here, bro. Kyle O'Reilly or Gargano would be a good candidate for that little thing, but on their own. And I know Kyle O'Reilly's trained a ton of MMA in the last couple of years, and I like how he mixes it in a bit, but I'm sorry to say this, and maybe I've been wrong before, but the money's just not there for main roster. When you let go of a Killer Cross, but you're going to extend a Kyle O'Reilly's contract, we got problems, bro.
Well, I think that might be more of a keep away move, just to keep him away from Bobby and Adam Fish, and like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I'm a big fan of the way those two guys work.
I love the way Bobby mixes his Muay Thai in. I think it's great.
Absolutely love both of those guys, and I think together that's where the money is. And splitting them apart, it's I mean, Kyle's legit. Yeah, he's a legit purple or brown belt, I believe, and like everything he does is like, I'm sure if that guy would have came at Kyle on the ramp, they'd be waking him up with smelling salts. So
he's way out of my weight class, but I'd fight Kyle O'Reilly. Like, I'd have to come way down. You have to come up.
He's pretty crafty, man. I've seen some of those Naga tapes. He's not a pushover, man. He knows what he's doing. A lot of those guys, man, they've all trained. Even Ed Kingston trained at the ATT up in Orlando for a while with my man Paul Rodriguez. Shout out Paul. And like some of those guys, they're equipped to handle themselves. Some of these guys aren't. Man. Kyle O'Reilly, I think if you put him with Bobby Fish, there's just like, how is that not a top tag team?
Separate, they're not nearly the commodity that they are together.
Together, together it's
versus in a Muay Thai guy with the MMA mixed in style. I agree, and like I said, I'm not trying to shit on the dude, but it like those little Buddy Favor Click things. Once you split them up, the guys don't have value anymore, really. Not nearly.
And then. Yeah, and I can just see the strategic move of let's keep him here as long as we can, just to burn him out. And then when we do let him go, it's too late. You know what I mean? And if they don't re-sign Ciampa and a guy like O'Reilly, like who do they have left there? Who's even on that roster besides the Steiner kid?
Yeah, I mean, those guys have been there for so long though, and they tried to be Yellow Brand is the third brand, and they didn't want it to be developmental, but that's all a lie, especially when they make OVW 2.0 out of NXT, and the arena looks the same, the way they're having them work.
Davis Arena in Orlando.
Yeah, pretty much is what it feels like, dude. So, and that's not a bad thing. It's just don't tell me that the other thing was this when the work doesn't back it up. But Ciampa's more than ready for main roster. I mean, the guy's had a 16, 17-year career now, and he did a hell of a job, him and Gargano there. And I think you can bring that feud in a new way if you need to, or a reunification. That's what people like, is forgiveness and getting it back together with that backstory. That's how you get those guys up there, and hopefully you'd have something decent for them to overcome. But since Gargano has been doing character with Sam Shaw or whatever they call him up there, I think 10 times more enjoy. I like seeing Gargano do that more than I like watching him crack his skull off the goddamn concrete. You know what I mean? For no reason whatsoever, dude. So
yeah, that's I can't condone what he does for a wrestling style, but I'll definitely condone his character work for sure. Yeah, he gets that over.
Yeah.
And Ciampa, man, is one of those guys. I could see him right now. If WWE doesn't keep him, man, the run he could make in AEW right now, like the matchups are all there. You wouldn't want to see Ciampa and CM Punk?
I do, but you got to get rid of Lee Moriarty and Rocky Romero.
Well, that's the reason. Yeah,
we've got that. And dude, when you've got Aleister Black and you've got Rusev, and you go right down the line, and those guys aren't on the show. I'm not saying Ciampa couldn't come in and kill it, but what chance is there for him to come in and kill it when you've already got these guys on the sidelines and you're putting on guys from the Nightmare Factory who paid QT $4,500 to get over and get a match? You know what I mean? Like that's that's a bad business plot, and nobody's going to get over in that respect.
No, you're right. And it's almost at a point too where the influx of just all that talent and it just Tony scooping it up one after another. There's no there's no rhyme or reason to what he's doing. He's just doing it.
Makes him look weak. It makes him look like a mark for just new toys and new talent, as opposed to having a vision of where he wants to go with the guys that he's got already.
Yeah, and even if one of these guys gets tossed onto your lap, don't let it disturb your plans for the short term. You need to rush him in here to pop the number. Dude, the continuity of things just needs to flow better. There's no continuity on a lot of this stuff. You see things one week, and then the next week they completely forget about it and never mention it again. And it's we're on to the new thing. Dude, people want to go on a ride. You know what I mean? They don't want to just change the channel every week and just see oh, this is a whole new thing. It's a whole new thing. No, they want to pick up from where they left off before. That's why TV shows will do cliffhangers, especially down to, towards the end of the season. It's right. These are basic
it's just the fundamentals of writing of chapter to chapter, but they can't even get close to it. Interesting news here. Exclusive news on Jeff Jarrett, JARRETT's latest promotional endeavor. Wrestle Stink. Yeah, we've got a new gold sponsor. If you guys want to hook up with getacregold.com. Wrestling has confirmed the WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett has joined the ownership group for the Capital City Baseball's Springfield Sliders franchise in Springfield, Illinois. Jarrett was approached with the idea of coming on board as a co-owner, and as we were told, he jumped at it, quote unquote. The man who approached Jarrett was Jamie Toole, a long-tenured minor league baseball executive who recently served simultaneously as GM for the other two teams. Jarrett's role with the team will see him bring more entertainment to the games. The Sliders play around 30 to 32 games a season, which leaves the park empty for more than 300 days a year. Jarrett will be infusing the Sliders games with music and other entertainment beforehand. I wonder what that would be. Between innings and afterwards, it's not expected that Jarrett will have a hand in the day-to-day decisions of the actual team. That's an interesting turnover there. And a lot of what he did with GWF, whether it was in Allentown or other things, he picked those minor league ballparks to have shows at and bring them a little something extra there. So interesting opportunity here, man.
So here's the thing. If you go look them up, there's a team that plays out of Georgia, minor league team. They're called the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
And right? Good gimmick name, right? But sure. Pro wrestling in baseball. And I guarantee that's the exact kind of model they're trying to build out there for that team. If you look these people up, they give these guys entrances to the plate. Each one of them's got a gimmick. They hype the gimmick up. and
Sure.
they make the whole thing an experience. Go look them up, Savannah Bananas, and I guarantee you they're gonna use Jeff in the way they use this like ringmaster character. Basically, they have the guy comes out full like ringmaster banana colored yellow suit. He's like the MC of the show, you know, and then they have the fan interaction plus the promos for the players. They put the players over, you know, and they're trying to get these guys over as, you know, whatever their gimmick is going to be. One guy, you know, had like a flower girl bringing him up to the, you know, the plate. Other guys are doing dances, choreographed things, this and that. And it's like, I know they increased their audience in the awareness of their product, and the way they try to sell those minor league games it's very pro wrestling, man. You know, it's very pro wrestling. You just want to bring the people in, have a good time, you know, see the game, blah, blah, blah. It's different than selling a major league, you know, team, but I could see this taking off, honestly. Look that thing up. Look up the Savannah Bananas.
Well, I think that you know, what we saw with Triad Combat is a little bit more carny than UFC, and we could be in a Kenny Powers, you know, FU situation and do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There definitely can get characters made and based on everything from, hey, he's from Dominican or Puerto Rico, or this guy's from, you know, Hawaii, and we got to have somebody drop flowers as he walks out to the batter's box, something along those lines.
Yeah, and you know, we're song, and they got a choreographed dance. They go up to the play, and the people love it. And I'll send you a couple of links. I look at some of their stuff sometimes. It's kind of cool. So I'm just like, I'm always nitpicking and trying to see what's working and what's not. You know, and I think Jeff's gonna make that work, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of entertainment tricks that he'll bring to it, and I think he laid the groundwork with Global Force. I have a weird. I mean, I went to the show in Pennsylvania, and Jeff was great to me, invited me, you know, backstage. Everybody was there, good brothers and all them. But I have a weird. This is my own bullshit, but the Insurgency when Khalil and Ali I had left, and we were going to try and get back together. They didn't want me to steal spotlight from them, so they were working Bollywood boys on that shit, and it turned into this weird thing. So I have a weird thing where my own guys iced me out because they think I went into business for myself while they were trying to end around me to get their own shit without me. I'm just like, every time I see Global Force, it sends a chill down my back of like this fucking business where, yeah, and I love both those guys, but your boys will turn around and stab you in the back for the opportunity. You know what I mean? Tough shit.
But I mean, hey, Jeff Jarrett, man. I mean, promoting's in his blood, so that's the guy's got the carny gene. He can do it. You know, I'm kind of interested to see where that plays out, where it goes.
Very cool. I see the Springfield, Illinois, and I like to think of as you know, the Isotopes and the Capital City Goofball and all that kind of shit. So play into it. The interesting. Let's see here. WWE Hall of Fame reacts to Cody Rhodes. We'll get to that. We'll get to that before this. So last night on AEW during the main event, which was the Atlanta street fight between Cody and El Idolo.
Is there a street fight in every town now?
I think so. There's classic street fights. Okay. They should have gone to the Atlanta Underground Mall and fought there. That would have been actually a cool fucking thing to they could have shot and had it
instead
there.
Of just saying it's a street fight and you're fighting in the ring. I'll get it.
But a lot of fans were left unable to view parts of the main event because of Fight TV. It just cut out. Just the screen turned green for fans. A lot of people were pissed off and they missed the end of the show, which was the big spot. With if you didn't see it, now you're going to hear it. But Brandy runs in and with the table set up, puts the fucking lighter fluid on it, excessive amount. And while she's doing it, I go, that's too much. That's too much. Lights it up. 4-foot flames off the top of the table. Good visual. They do the suplex and fucking take it home from there. But throughout the whole match, bro, like people are like looking at Cody, and Cody doesn't have jeans and a t-shirt on for street fight. He should have come out in the dusty shit. He's got the Captain America pants on or whatever. Dude, it looks like his back. It looks like he got a second-degree sunburn from too much tanning, and like just huge clumps of skin are coming off, like white skin and flapping. I'm like,
oh, he's peeling.
It looks like it. It's not. It's all fire protected shit that they sprayed
on. Okay.
But now when they do the spot, because everybody's talking like, what is up with Cody's back? Like even on commentary. They're like, well, it looks something must have been in the garbage can when he got hit with it that got all over him or what have you. But then it looks like skin from a bad tanning incident. It's not, it's some shit they sprayed on. And then when they do the spot, you're like, oh, wrestling's phony because he had to have that on, and we saw it the whole match. And it's like, just last night's show, the week before, one of the best AEW Dynamites they've had this week, an absolute shit fest, completely predictable. And like, you know, these things that make wrestling fake as fuck, bro.
Are they at least trying to push the Cody going heel gimmick?
He's never gonna turn heel.
Bro, if they don't turn him heel right now, I mean, just pack it up. Just pack it up. Because if you're not going to do that, then what are you going to do? Like that one's laid out right in front of you. Because Brandy can make him the most hated man in wrestling.
Could be.
I mean, that's just me being honest. Like, if you gave them 5 minutes and not even work, just 5 minutes of them on TV with doing their stupid reality show stick, and he led into it instead of trying to go the other way, bro, it's money.
I popped big too because Taz was on commentary and Andrade goes to get tables to bring him in the ring. Amateur 101, Indie 101. This guy, fuck. I'm like, how are these guys this level of worker? He takes a table out, goes to throw it in. The back legs come down and get hooked on the fucking thing. Bro, that's why what you got to do when you take them out, you got to flip them over because it'll slow down your flow. You want to put the guy through the table and you got to set up in the corner. Now he's got to get that in there. So they left it and he does the Beal through it and Cody goes through it and it was like, But then
good cover by Taz though.
Yeah, for sure. And then Idolo gets another table. Same thing. Same fucking thing, bro. Just like, dude, is this your first show ever? Is this the first time you've ever seen wrestling and these simple things of like, how do I not interrupt and look like a fucking total idiot in what I'm doing here?
Yeah. I mean, I bet you he put his hand on the stove twice as a kid too.
100%. That's a great one. WWE Hall of Famer reacts to Cody Rhodes' flaming table spot in AEW. Mick Foley chimes in. He says, I hope at Cody Rhodes is okay. That's probably going to hurt for a while. Not really. He had fucking wax coating his back. So it made it super phony. If he would have had a t-shirt on, that would have protected him. The t-shirt could have got on fire and you could have had somebody there at ringside with a fire extinguisher to put him out for a bigger fucking visual. But nobody knows how to punch up anything over there. It's just ridiculous. And in fact, the fact that he would fight without a shirt on and have that, he could have had all that flame retardant shit on underneath the shirt. It's a street.
And nobody knows.
We know what Dusty looks like with color in the street fight. Of course, he made his hair bleach blonde, so when he got color, it would show up that much more. But he's still dressed like Captain America with no shirt on, and we're exposing the business. And it just made a lot of people roll their eyes at the phoniness of the violence in this match, which could have gotten over with one or two things to protect it.
Well, yeah, if you're not going to pay off the stipulation of the violence, then why even bring it out in the first place?
Why even do it? Yep.
You know, like you got to pay it off. and then what? Like he's going to be on TV next week, right? Like if you're doing something like that, somebody's got to go to the hospital. There needs to be a long kind of just story of their comeback after that. And then, you know, pick the story back up because like they're just going to go right back at it next week, you know? And
he's got to go through burn treatments. He's tormented. We build to an inferno match because El Idolo knows he's inside his fucking head. Like all the setup, like just you know, we're
and then you even have like the one part of his body that hasn't healed, you know, and then that's the part you work. You know what I mean? It's I don't understand sometimes, man, where they're going with some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what the biggest spot of that match, and this I saw this earlier in the show because people were like, whoa, baby. One thing they need to do, and I think they actually will after this. Last night, Arn Anderson fell off the stage in the beginning of this. So when they come out of the top, they've got that, and then the entrance ramp comes down. But in the corners, there's no like, you know, triangles that make it kind of like a funnel. It's just like flat and then ramp. So on the sides, there's those 90-degree cuts at the top. Arn took a step backwards. Nobody even touched him. Flat back, right onto the pyro stuff. I think he hit his head on a monitor. He's like a turtle with his hands and feet in the air. and then the heel manager comes up with the El Idolo to like get heat on him, but you see him reach down and help Arn out of the situation like you hope he would. But dude, we got 60, 70-year-old legends now falling off the ramp, bro, in the beginning. And that was almost the third fall off that of how that is. Somebody needs to cut those corners and make it into a funnel there so these old birds or whoever aren't falling off, breaking their backs. But that was the biggest botchamania high spot that you're going to see this week is Arn boop going off of that, dude. You should check. I'm sure it's on AEW botches right now, but
poor Arn, man. Poor Double A.
Yeah.
I feel for him, man. That's fuck.
Yeah, they were just hugging at the top before the ramp, at the top of the ramp before the match starts. And I mean, he didn't fall far, maybe like 2 or 3 feet, but scary enough.
Still,
you know?
Yeah, still, you don't know what's underneath you, you know?
Yeah,
and it's just, you're at the mercy of whatever's down there.
Poor Arn taking bumps off the apron and everything out here, man. Our final story. Go ahead, buddy.
Did they ever push the Glock thing with him and him being armed?
No. And how could they now? I mean, I would. I mean, dude.
I would literally have him pull one on somebody. You know, like why not?
You're gonna have that. Why? Because they're a hypocritical SJW company where they will cancel guys. And I'm not trying to go to bat for Jimmy Havoc or Joey Ryan or anybody like that who got caught up in their own stupid bullshit, Mike Elgin, whatever the fuck. But you know, at the same time, they say that, and then they turn around and hire people who are more over because of WWE status with the same fucking things against them, or people that they will want to, and they don't want to take the hypocrisy there. They don't want to be called out on their bullshit where they wanted to toe the line. But when it comes to, oh, that doesn't matter because you're more over in the eyes of the Mark Wrestling fans. Okay, bro. Like it's a dangerous way to go down that, but I think they will. So with the gun stuff with Arn, you know, they're not going to touch it, especially after a school shooting and, you know, all this type of shit. They just won't. But there's a whole culture that would bite on that. You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah. Go on Instagram. Go look up at all these people that look up freaking guns all day long and just watch. But you're telling me you're not going to do that, right? Because it's so violence. But everything you're on your TV show is supposed to be simulated violence. And then TBS, like, I'm going to watch at 10 o'clock after this show ends, they're going to put like the Bourne Identity on or something. They're coming at you with all sorts of guns. And like, I'm supposed to cut reality here, but this is real. This is fake. This is real. This is fake. Don't do that. That's too real. You know, like I'm not getting it, you know, like call me crazy, but I just don't understand. And something like that, like from a creative standpoint,
understand.
You got gold in your lap, man. You know, that's gold. You can't like spit at that. You gotta like turn that into something. And if you're not, like, dude, get out of there. Get out of there.
And you never even need to see the gun. Arn just needs to go for it, like Ice Cube. We got a problem,
right?
And
no. You know?
Or you can do it like
ATF show up, like, hey, you know, like, come on, man, you know. And then like Arn's got a concealed, you know, permit. Oh no, he doesn't. You know, like something. You could have a whole big thing where now he's lost his, you know, his gun or somebody stole his gun. Dude, there's so many different things you can do.
Or you could do Trailer Park Boys like Ricky, and every time he does it, he ends up shooting himself in the foot. Like,
yes.
Like, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't do that to Arn, but
but somebody else can get shot every time. Like you just hear the gunshot go off, and you cut over, and Hartnett's on the ground holding this fucking.
I cheddar bob myself. Yeah, like
exactly that, dude. You know, and with the Rittenhouse, Jimbo says with the Rittenhouse shit. But dude, we are supposed to
feed into it.
Yeah, I would bring him on the show. Like, wouldn't that make you go from 400,000 to 4 million? Put Rittenhouse on your show and pay him $20,000 and have somebody beat the fuck out of him, bro.
Yeah. Or you just have Arn come over and knuckle him up, dude. You know,
just puts him over. He's Arn's guest. Yeah.
All
that shit, bro.
Any of that stuff. And if you're leaving that on the table, like, you're never going to make money.
Wrestling is a conduit to look at life through an absurd lens. and life is super absurd. So why are we now toning down wrestling to not echo life, to make some phony bullshit when these are the top headlines all over the place? Even when you get attacked by a fan, you can't put that on your own. When it was on your own show, you can't put it on your own show the next week. What the fuck?
No, we got to go back to this formulated, structure of this is how we put this match together. Tie up, drop down, leapfrog. Like, no, man.
And that gets nobody over. We open shows with big fucking graphics in the sky that are holograms of a sword, and a shitty promo where we go, the Islanders suck, everybody, instead of doing a happening where Arn peels by with fucking guns blazing out the window, Dukes of Hazzard style or some shit. We need show don't tell events, not tell events. We need big stunts. We need happenings. We need to see things happen in action sequences. These motherfuckers can't even get out of the arena to go shoot something because they're so lazy, or the fact that they're ripping up scripts within 12 hours beforehand, which leaves them no time to do anything like that, like a big Steve Austin stunt. You know what I mean? Monster truck, fill your Corvette with fucking concrete, whatever it is. Arn with a gun, there's plenty of shit there. And especially as hot button as that is, who gives a fuck if you're insulting these tape trader masturbators, because they're only giving you 400,000. You want to make headlines of being controversy creates cash? That Kyle Rittenhouse being with Arn Anderson on your motherfucking show is a million view night, no doubt. And if not, it's a 10 million view viral piece the next day.
Oh, every single talking head show is going to have that clip. Every single person's going to be putting a clip up on YouTube with their so-called commentary about it. And then you're telling me like, you're in the business of creating ratings. And like those people, like you said, are going to show up anyway. Those 400,000. It don't matter if they're mad or not. They're going to still watch.
They're going to show up to be offended. They're going to show up. Yeah.
They'd rather show up and be offended than be happy. Like, and if you're not going to try to broaden your horizons, like look at a TV show like South Park, man. Like, how many times should that have been canceled? Right? Like hundreds of times. But as long as people keep doing stupid shit, that show is going to be making millions of dollars until the end of time, because that's all they do is just parody whatever's going on in the real world. And it's a simple formula. You're acting like people don't have access to everything that's going on in the world. And if they don't, like, okay, that's one thing, but they do. They know Kyle Rittenhouse. They know what's going on with, politics, left, right, this, that, social justice, these things. They're even trying to cancel the Gacy character guy, right? Just because he's too offensive.
But it's not. Like, that's the thing. Like, isn't he the great antithesis to represent the AEW marks, where you got like he's only good. And I know we're on two different companies, but his heat is only going to be as much as the guy that you have to be the catalyst to drive him either side. And they did the same thing with Max Caster, where he actually is doing high level work, and then he bangs one, too much times, where it takes it to the real world. They're like, shut it down, take them down to a low level, when they should go, we got something. This is where we turn the fire up on it.
Yeah, turn it up. You think that was bad last week? Tune in next week.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like, that's like, these are basic things that I'm like, I have a problem digesting when I see them, and like, I acknowledge that this is, the direction this should be going. And the people that are getting paid 6-7 figures are just like, no, we can't touch that.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean?
When they could be getting paid 8 or 9 figures, possibly, if they did touch that.
Could you imagine what the numbers would be? Like, and then you look at somebody like that Gacy character. Every time I see that, I think of Stevie, doing Right to Censor, and just
Stevie needs to come in and be the catalyst.
Mentor.
Like, yeah, absolutely. That they're not doing.
You're right. These people aren't, and it's just, you have all these things you could pull from. There's so many things you could pull from, and you're choosing to pull nothing. Yep. Like, that's so offensive. You're offending me. Is like, it's hard for me to watch the product. I love wrestling, but it's hard for me to watch the product because it just insults my intelligence. And then I see things where it's like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? I'm no genius, man. Like, I'm not going to proclaim to be something I'm not. And it's like, if I see these things and you're a professional and you don't see these things, like, and you're not addressing them, why do you have a gig? But, like, this business is screwed, like, everybody's screwed, because it's just like, you're the people driving the ship, and you're heading us right into an iceberg. Like,
well, it makes me wonder with 100 talents, 100 plus talents. I mean, that's really two new companies you could make. And is it going to be Disney buying WWE, a toxic property, or is somebody like USA Channel going to make their own wrestling company and actually have somebody, myself, you, Stevie Russo, I don't give a shit, somebody who's got the balls and understands it and sees all the mistakes that's going on over here to create something that will lead the way where all the other numbers are going down. We can show them that wrestling, yeah, it's phony and exposed, but if you play it to a extreme level, not just ECW, or you play it to like with the violence, but like if you play the characters and stories the way they should be, the audience will come back. And we will make every week, we should try and make national headline news by doing something borderline salacious that crosses the boundary of good taste for society, because we can always go, it's wrestling. What are you getting pissed off about, you fucking Mark? And no one
watch
really
the story. There's always going to be a payoff. And if it's a morality thing, like, you pay it off. You know what I mean? Like, if this is a big message that you really want to send, okay, send it.
You're pissed off about Max Caster? Guess what? You get Simone Biles to be at the pay-per-view, and when it's time for Max Caster to get punched in the balls, guess who does a fucking full flip, half gainer, and fucking split and gives him the Snabits, bro?
Like, come on. And then what? ESPN's got to pick that up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like,
it's so ridiculous, man.
Look, man, like, pulling it back again one more time, but like, when Colby cut that promo in Brazil, do you understand how fucking crazy the media went?
Oh,
do you understand? They wanted him canceled. They had to get somebody out at the press conference. This guy, this VP of whatever. I have never seen this guy before, and I've never seen the guy after. And his job was to go out there and basically just be like, oh, we're going to review what he said, and we're going to review this and do that. Bro, review my nuts. You ain't reviewing nothing but the fucking numbers that we just brought in. That's all you're reviewing. And it's like, as soon as they got on the plane, dude, they wanted more of it, you know? Like, there's no, oh, you better turn that down. You better dial that down. No, they see the numbers, dude. And the numbers are all that matters. And then if you're going to dial it down, just don't be upset when the numbers suck. You know,
beating up a white guy is possibly the most gratifying thing in 2021 for any minority, to see a white guy get beat after talking shit, right? Like, that's the whole story.
Yeah, like you said, dude, pay Rittenhouse the number to get him choke slammed on fucking TV through a fucking table. What's the number? There's a number. You know what I mean? But guess what? Once that number's paid, now you get to reap the benefits of the numbers it's going to bring in. Because you're not going to be reaching just the neck-bearded virgin in the first row, you know, that doesn't use, deodorant. You're going to be reaching everybody all across the world, because they're going to go, oh, shit, they just chokeslammed that guy through a table.
Our final story of the day, bringing it back around with more MMA, Jake Hager gives his candid thoughts on Dan Lambert and Junior Dos Santos. AEW star joined Throwing Down with Renee and Misha, recently talked about how he balances his career with MMA and AEW. Hager gave President TK and how he runs AEW a bunch of credit, shocker, as the schedule allows Jake Hager to put equal focus on both wrestling and MMA. So I think it's really a testament to AEW, how Tony runs things. He told me from the beginning that he wanted to make my MMA career. He wanted to help out as much as possible. He said the value in it. He saw the value in it and liked what I did when I joined the company. It's one of the main reasons. That's it. Hartnett's a F you. Tony wanted me because I could do both, and he saw the value in both industries exploding and the ability to cross promote. So really, I'm on the road for like 3 days, and then I have Thursday through Tuesday to train. Wow, that's pretty good. So I just kind of move the rest of my days of travel, and then I go out on the TV day. And as soon as I get home, there it is. I've got to sleep Wednesday night. I can't be up partying, which is a great thing. It helps me live better. It says TK pretty much gives him Thursday to Tuesday to train and just be ready for TV. I mean, they haven't used Hager for much, and I got to say they had an opportunity with that fight with Wardlow, but once they started doing spots in it, like, they undercut Jake's credibility that they were doing it. And then you're going to bring in American Top Team. Jake Hager versus Junior Dos Santos is the money. I don't know why these wrestling companies aren't, unless JDS can't do it because of UFC contract, but why they aren't.
He's a free agent.
then why are they doing what Triad is doing and having a shoot fight on there? We've talked about this with WWE, why they don't have Riddle doing the same thing, or why they don't have Brock versus Lashley, which could possibly, no offense to Colby, outdraw what they did at Madison Square Garden. If you have a whole wrestling, you're going to have a fucking super heavyweight Goliath fight that's a dream match on the card instead of trying to work it. Stop trying. If you have shooters, you can have a shoot fight in a wrestling fucking show. Absolutely. But nobody wants to pull the trigger on this, man. The Paige Van Zant stuff did pop me when she buried them all for fucking being losers backstage and nerds who are into their own shit. And that's really the line in the sand. But he says, how fun was that angle? Oh my gosh, man, that guy Junior Dos Santos is crazy. He's insanely good at pro wrestling. Let's not get out of hand. So you guys better watch out for him because he's probably going to be back. Lambert's amazing on the mic. I hate the guy, but what he says is just too funny. It did take me a while to get in the shirt because of my big ass head, but what are you going to do? I agree. And that's a problem though, too. I mean, as much of a major wrestling historian and fan as Dan Lambert is and facilitator of the business and helping that crossover, it's a problem when American Top Team, even though you guys had plenty of experience on Impact, so it's not like they're walking in as their first rodeo, when they're outshining your entire roster on the mic, that's a problem. When the UFC guys show up on the wrestling show and steal the show every single fucking time they're on, that to me, as the wrestling locker room and indie guys, be like, we need to step our game up, or they think they're on the same level and they're just clueless. But ATT did a fucking hell of a job, man, in really bringing some good moments to AEW in the last 2 months.
Yeah, from my point of view, I just have a hard time looking at that, and I just see all the spots they dropped the ball. Like they paid off the heat with Lambert way too fast. They touched him way too quick. They didn't get the business over of establishing Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky at all. All the other guys that came in got over more than they did. So there's no, I mean, the goal of that whole thing should have been establishing Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. And they got the least out of that, I think, out of everybody involved. And if they did it right, I think the way that whole thing should have been, like, you shouldn't have Dan wrestling. Dude, JDS, the only time he's seen wrestling before he went to AEW was watching me wrestle on the Halloween show every year. You know, he loves it, but, like, I don't, like, I know for a fact he still hasn't trained at all with that. You know, he's doing whatever his regular training for MMA is, and that's, you know, his bread and butter. But, like, he's doing that for fun.
Wait till he's got to pull 12 minutes with Lee Moriarty. Then we'll see how good he is.
Yeah, But like the whole thing with Dan, if he's gonna run his mouth like that, you can't blow the heat off that fast. And if you're gonna blow it off, you need to put it into a spot where Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky were gonna get over without more than a little help from American Top Team, and that's what helped them get over, and then break away from it, but still keep them there. You know, like, oh, there are reinforcements who are gonna come back, because now. Who are they? They're dance. They're like me. They're dancing.
We're on TV the last 2 weeks is what they were. They were gone from TV, so they paid that off, and now we don't have any tag division that they're in with FTR or with Penta and Phoenix or the Bucks. There's no heat with anybody between them because Jericho's crew is all singles individuals wrestlers except for LAX, and those guys are not.
And Ortiz, and you don't like. Whatever, you know, like I understand, but you don't even highlight the fact that Scorpio Sky he's trained, like he has some background in MMA, but you're not going to bring that up, or why they're linked up, or why he's, why does Dan admire these two guys?
Yeah.
Did they establish it at all?
That's
like why Dan chose these two guys?
Scorpio Sky won the big gold ring. You don't remember that? He climbed the ladder and got the big Sonic the Hedgehog coin, and then they were like, "That's the babyface push." 4 weeks later, he's a heel with Paige, and then they go to the ATZ. The continuity, like you said earlier, is just so rotten, with no vision of, all right, we got these guys. It's a great segment, but is it going to get the dudes who are on our contract? Is it going to get them over? And Ethan Page, you know as well as I do, is fucking magic on the mic. That guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, guy's got charisma. And if you're bringing in guys like Andre and JDS and Paige Van Zandt and whoever the hell else they were bringing in there, how do you not use them as some kind of blueprint to teach a new hold to those guys and then get the hold over? And this is what's getting them to the next level.
Where's
they
show
got Dan
from American Top Team with those
bring
guys?
Him to the gym. Dan's got access to a 20,000 square foot facility anytime he wants, dude. You could bring in cameras there anytime you want. You could have had them in there and did any kind of. I've done it. You could have done. I've done the shoots with Moose in there, like at any time you want, and like okay. Bring them down there. What is it? A plane flight? To Fort Lauderdale. Get them in the cage. Have them going over something with Junior, and have Ethan Page learn a whole.
They're there in Jacksonville. You fucking next morning get up, drive, go do it. Shoot for an
ATT
hour
in Jacksonville. There's ATTs all across the state, dude. You could have even one of the satellite schools. You go in there. Oh, you need the mat. Oh, we're going over a hold. Oh, you guys ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. Okay, and now there's a reason for them to take it to another level, and then Dan could still be there and talking the shit. But you can't have these guys coming in and winning the matches for him. You know what I mean? And then they're the ones getting the spotlight. They're the ones getting over. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky got nothing out of that, and that was like the whole point of the business was to be giving them the rub. And it's pay your heat off with Lambert.
To me is when you've got legit UFC cred guys. Sure, we can get Page and Sky over, but the money is on Hager. When you're saying MMA. And you're bringing those guys in, we need to have a feature to get that shit over, and Hager could get the rub that way from him. You know what I mean? Even if it was work shoot, it doesn't need to be a shoot. Like it could all break down, but they're just leaving so much on the table of opportunity, man.
And I think Cornette was the one that said it where if you're going to put JDS in there, like at least get it to a point where the people are going to have to pay for it. You know what I mean? And sell that pay-per-view. And then after that, the magic's gone. You know what I mean? But at least you already got the gate from it. You got the money from it. On to the next one. Because making him into some kind of believable wrestling star has got to be an illusion. Because, dude, he doesn't have the psychology. He doesn't have any kind of basics. Bro, ask him,
he doesn't
know what a heel and a face is, dude. Like I love the guy.
He doesn't want to throw a working punch, like the guy's trained fucking $250,000 punches. Like to pull one is probably not going to happen too much.
Yeah, and even if he pulls it, he's still gonna. I mean, that guy hits so hard, bro. Every time you shake my hand, oh my god, dude. Like that's a real man. You know what I mean? And like you should the way they were used. I know people liked it, but dude, it fell flat for me. Like. I think Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky got screwed out of the whole deal. I think Dan got Dan over, but I don't think he got them over. And that was his job, was to get them over. And that was Jericho's job.
Jericho and Dan is the principal with the fat face dipshit and the crowd interaction and what Dan could do limited wise. So, but a lot of good. What the dirt sheets say from Lambert shitting on the millennials, that was what made it. But when it comes to doing business, you're 100% right. We're here to get guys over and establish them, and outside guys to give them the rub are with mainstream, connections or what it is. And they did the same thing and botched it with Mike Tyson and his.
I was gonna say you can bring back Mike Tyson. Like the whole thing is the possibilities are infinite, but you're not laying anything out, and it's almost like they're flying by the seat of their pants. Anything that goes that day when they show up to the building, okay, we're just going to go with this, and it's like, hey man, like where's that going? Who's this business going to pay off? You got television time and you're just wasting it. And it's like the
numbers are going down. There's the bigger excuses of SmackDown has 1.9 million, and then with one press of a button to flip the channel, you only have 400,000. 1.5 million fall off is not acceptable, bro. Like there's no, maybe 50,000 would be acceptable range, but there's so many big problems that need to be answered before we can even get to these fine-tuning adjustments of business. You know what I mean? Plus you got 10, 11 people out there. What could possibly go wrong now? And they did a good job passing the mic and passing the focus. I was impressed with that, but like 10-person scene is a sketchy scene to like get all the business over without it being bad,
Dude, Lambert don't even know where the hard cam is. I used to have to point at it for him. You know what I mean? Like it's, like I don't, whatever. I get it. Like, dude, more power to them for getting out there and doing it. But I think they did it all wrong. And if it was up to me, even to the point where Dan's going out and doing interviews with Sheets going, this is the character I play on TV.
Yeah, that's
Dude, you're supposed to be the only real thing on the show.
Right. That's a problem. Great insight. I love seeing your counterpoint there, because I do look at it a little different now, instead of marking out for like the energy of it. That there was a lot of meat left on the bone there, man. No doubt.
Too much. I think Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky got the raw end of the deal there, man. I think they should have got a lot more out of that. Mm-hmm. And if that wasn't the business going into it, then I don't know what the business was.
And where's the Men of the Year calendar or any of that shit as we approach the end of 2021, you know?
Anything, just anything. Where's anything for them? Dan's getting more than they are. Like I said, Dan got himself over more than he got them over. Which
I got Dan. They'll both be repackaged here soon. I don't see, if you're off TV for 2 weeks after a major thing and they don't got nothing for you, they either need next week to get heat on LAX or FTR or somebody, or it's going to be dead in the water and it's time to repackage already.
Yeah, it had to go one of two ways. Either they had to learn something from ATT and break off, but still keep the connection, or full-fledged, give them tracksuits, give them the ATT jumpsuits, train them out, pretend they're all shooters now because Scorpio knows a little bit, and then just like, hey, we put them through this regimen and this training, and this is what's changed to these guys. There was nothing there that changed for them. All they did was hang out with Dan, you know, which is cool. Guys got a lot of money, you know, you get to do a lot of cool shit, but like, ain't getting anybody over.
Everybody needs to stop wearing shirts that are smalls when they're obviously an extra large. That's my biggest beef.
That's the secret, dude. That's the secret. Schmediums is the way to go. Schmediums.
I appreciate it, Johnny Blaze, man. Filling in here last minute this morning, answering the call as Big Stevie Cool had some business to take care of. And man, just a great joy to catch up with you today, man. I always enjoy having you as a co-host and hearing that inside talk from everything from the biggest shows in UFC history, you know, to the indies where we got to get our own shit in, man. But always great to see you and the Dogs of War over there, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here. Make sure you guys get over to what's the new gimmick now?
Channelattitude.com, where you can officially see HMG shows. We are live here at YouTube and Twitch, which I'll make it unlisted, but giving a little extra added value. And I was excited to have you on, so I figured we'll give a little bit away. But thank you for those guys who are subscribing to us over there. You keep the platform moving along, moving forward, so we can do things like this and just a lot of production in the next week or two. Where can they find you online, Johnny?
Preferably, I hope they don't find me online. You know, you could. I'm over at Hartnett. Oh no, I changed my fucking name at _ John Hartnett. Yeah, the Hartnett ATT is dead, but gotcha. I am still part of ATT, not American Top Team, America's Tag Team. Okay.
Oh,
so myself and Blake Bowman will be, I believe, on CCW here at the turn of the new year, making a little run for the tag team titles. So tune in. Watch their YouTube live channel. Yeah, right here in Pompano Beach. Yeah.
Okay, so, awesome.
Hialeah, Pompano Beach. You guys in the area, come on, check it out. CCW, Battle at the Brew, Bash at the Brew, all those good things at the Brew. They're going down. I'll be out there. I'll be on those shows. Looking forward to it. And yeah, it's a good time. Hopefully, be back here sooner than later and see my man Stevie Richards.
Absolutely, man. I'll let them know. We'll try and get a 3-way booth lined up here before the end of the new year, dude. So, but thanks for doing the hot tag and the running on that one. Ass this morning, brother. So, y'all infidels, we put the chokehold on you. You better tap out. It's the Friday Locker Room. Hacker Hamin and Johnny Hartnett here. Channelattitude.com. Hamin Media Group. Y'all. Get vaccinated. Don't get vaccinated.